my green tick approval 100% is the Pittsburgh Steelers will not go and trade for Justin.
G'day, Steelers. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. That was about 5 months ago, and I'm going to show the clip in about a few more minutes more. I talk about that kind of stuff. But I was wrong. I was dead wrong about Justin Fields. A lot of us were out there in Steeler Nation. Things happen really fast. I was even wrong about Russell Wilson a few times.
Russell Wilson. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. What was it? CBS headline?
I was dead wrong about Russell Wilson, but all this quarterback talk right now, we have Russell Wilson as quarterback number 1, we have Justin Fields quarterback number 2, and yes, you can be in two different camps of who you think is going to be quarterback number 1 or 2 or vice versa. Should the Steelers go and get Fields to be quarterback number 1? There's good conversation around that. I'm not saying that there isn't. I still think though that quarterback number 1 will be Wilson, but in that saying, I don't think there needs to be this idea of like my quarterback versus your quarterback, who's better, who's not. We don't like your take because of X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be. I'm happy that both quarterbacks are playing, and I'm happy that Justin Fields is playing really good football in training camp. Now, will that progress into preseason? Will he play more snaps in the regular season? But this was me. Check this out. This was me going on like a 3-minute rant about the Steelers not going to sign Justin Fields.
My green tick approval 100% is the Pittsburgh Steelers will not go and trade for Justin Fields. It won't happen. I'd be very, very shocked if it does happen. The Steelers have already said with Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada, only joking. They've said with many people out there in their staff organization, Arthur Smith, they're getting behind Kenny Pickett. This Justin Fields talk is absolute rubbish. And also, it's not really against Fields himself. It's against the notion of why would the Pittsburgh Steelers go and waste possibly a first if they want that. Maybe go and waste a second or a third pick in next year's draft or this year's draft. Go and waste that for a quarterback that has a lot of turnovers, that has 1 year on the contract with their 5th year coming up into maybe got to pay him a lot of money, unproven for us. The Bears know who Fields is. Why would the Steelers go and grab Fields, bring him to our organization that is dead set another problem when you already have Kenny Pickett here into his 3rd year, 4th year, see what happens into the 5th. I understand people don't like Kenny Pickett. We need to go and, maybe get Mason Rudolph or someone else coming into the building for competition. I understand that. But grabbing people like Justin Fields because he's a trade candidate and the Bears don't want him, they're going to go and get Caleb Williams, makes no sense to me. So I'm putting my foot down. Last time I'm saying this. The Pittsburgh Steelers will not trade for Justin Fields. They can talk to him all they want at the combine. You might see Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan talking to the Bears staff, and rumors will come up.
Alrighty. I gotta stop myself there. Look, I was dead wrong about that, and that was 5 months ago. And I went back and looked at some of my videos and how this stuff kind of panned out. And you guys can let me know in the comments below what did happen. I think from recent memory, we had Kenny Pickett was in the building. Then the Steelers went and signed Russell Wilson on that like really good deal where Denver pays all but pretty much all the contract. Kenny Pickett was then a bit frustrated around that time. Then we end up trading away Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then a few moments later, they went and traded for Justin Fields, right? And of course, we got, Patrick Queen came in and some other big moves happened around that time. It was like a whirlwind, crazy, time of events. And now we've just completed the Friday Night Lights with the backs on backers. And Fields has been getting more quarterback reps than I think Russell Wilson. But Mike Tomlin has still stated that Russell Wilson is in the pole position. He's the guy. But it's good to have Justin Fields having reps. Like, I'm not against it at all. I think we tend to see these things from some fans anyway out there. And you can let me know your opinion in the chat. But for some fans, I think it's either one or the other. I'm happy that it's kind of both at this time. Like, I'm good to see that Fields is getting reps and playing good quality football in training camp. That's what we want to see. We want to see the players excel, get better, and play good on our team. Like, yes, he had struggles with the Bears, Maybe he was pushed into it too fast. I don't know. Maybe the 4 years over there as a starter, the fumbles, the interceptions. Look, he can run. He can play. He can run around. He can throw a good pass. He can go deep. Him and George Pickens, Fields and George Pickens have been going off. So that stuff I could be wrong about in terms of, maybe he it could excel to be a quarterback number one in the future. But I'm just going off what Tomlin's saying. And Tomlin is saying that Russell Wilson will be quarterback number one. Anyways, I want to bring up this thing too. I want to bring up, not this, by the way. That's a pretty good buy. This right here, this is a pretty good buy.
My green tick approval, 100%, is the Pittsburgh Steelers will not go and trade for Justin Fields.
The Pittsburgh Steelers will not trade for Justin Fields 100%, right? And that's why I kind of find it funny. There's a lot of video out there of myself talking down the option or the idea of getting Brennan Ayuk. I don't think that's going to happen either, right? So I might have to make a 2-hour clip of that. But I've been on record as well, being on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, that I think over 35 minutes of me talking about that Fields wasn't going to come here. He's here now, and he's all part of the experiment over the next 2 years. We don't know what's going to happen next year in terms of who's going to sign the quarterback. So it's very interesting, very cool to see. And I'm happy I'm happy as well that he's exceeding. All right, I know that I was wrong in saying that I didn't predict it, but many people didn't predict having Wilson and Fields on the same team. But I did see this. This is kind of cool. Going flashback to the past. That's the shark emoji there. Is Patrick Queen. And he retweeted this. So in April 29 was 2021. I can't wait for Justin Fields to ball on all these haters, laugh out loud. Now that would have been back when he was with the Ravens. Of course, that Queen's been with the Ravens like last 4 years. But then he retweeted August 4th, which was about 2 days ago. A little shark emoji, and he's hiding behind his eyes, a bit scared. But you know what? It's a good point. You're starting to see these quarterbacks play good football, and I think Wilson. I don't know how much time he'll get in preseason, but I am feeling pretty hyped around Justin Fields' career. Maybe he could spark some interest and develop himself into that role of the franchise quarterback into the future. Right? Maybe the Steelers are just doing their due diligence, going with Wilson, the veteran guy first. He's won a Super Bowl. He's got 46,000 yards. You play Wilson. You give him the chance first to go take this team to the Super Bowl, or you take it as far as you can. You put in Fields in situations in maybe red zone or certain packages. You roll him out there and play quarterback to get him reps. And of course, I don't think that Russell Wilson will play all 17 games. At some stage in the season, Justin Fields will be starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers at whatever time that may be. If it's an injury in week 4, if it's a week 10 injury or coming off the bye, if Justin Fields fills in for Russell Wilson, if he's feeling sick or whatever it may be, maybe he's got a really bung elbow, something will happen where that Justin Fields will be the quarterback number one for the Steelers at some time, some stage. Last year we had Trubisky. Can't handle him. He was one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Had Kenny Pickett dealing with injuries. You had Mason Rudolph kind of, take control near the end and get us to the playoffs. And it was like that happy Christmas ride. So somehow, some way, Justin Fields will be getting quarterback number one reps, and he'll be a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We just don't know. Don't know how it's going to flow out. Now, in terms of this quarterback competition, I think there's 2 different narratives you can follow. And you prove me wrong if I've been wrong before. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong. 2 different quarterback storylines or narratives. The first one is that there is no quarterback competition. The coaches know exactly who they're going to go with. That is going to be Russell Wilson and Fields as quarterback number 2. Or I think from the fan base, the narrative is, no, he's excelling right now. You should put in quarterback number 1, Justin Fields, because he's tearing up the offense. He's adjusting to what Arthur Smith is saying. He's changing the play. He's running around crazy. Maybe he's a bit faster than Russell Wilson. Maybe he's a bit more elusive. Maybe he has a stronger arm throwing the ball down to Pickens. He's finding his targets. And yeah, he's playing better football right now, and you should start him quarterback number 1. But that's what I'm saying. I think there's two narratives. One is that the coaches make the final choice, and Tomlin has been asked this question numerous times from outlets all over the shop, and his answer is always going back to it's Russell Wilson is the preferred guy at the moment. But it doesn't mean you can't get Justin Fields ready for next year, right? You don't have to choose one or the other. If because they're going with Russell Wilson now, fantastic. I can't wait to see week 1 versus Falcons and see what Wilson can do in terms of maybe finishing his career. Or do we sign him next year? I don't know. But you don't have to choose one or the other. You can support both quarterbacks in different ways. You can support Fields to bounce back from the Bears. And you can support Russell Wilson, and maybe he's the best quarterback going forward, if Mike Tomlin thinks so, in his bounce back from Denver, right? 2 different storylines, but the fan base now, I think, just sees the overall hype and craziness because Fields has been taking more reps, so many more reps at this position, quarterback, than Russell Wilson dealing with his injury. And maybe Mike Tomlin's holding him back a little bit and doesn't need him to play a lot of preseason reps, and also giving the chance to give Fields that extra time to develop chemistry with this team as well. But at the same time, as well as I end this video, is you still want to see Russell Wilson develop chemistry too with his receivers. You need someone to step up and be that quarterback number 1 that is Wilson, right? You don't want to have the controversy of, this quarterback plays better with these receivers and whatever it may be. You want the standout quarterback to be number 1, leader of the locker room, go forward with the fellas and try and win championships, or at least get to the playoffs, right? But Fields right now has been taking all the reps, and he's proved me wrong, right? He's proved me wrong from 5 months ago. As I said, this is the soundbite that could go viral if I made it short. My green tick approval 100% is the Pittsburgh Steelers will not go and trade for Justin Fields. The Pittsburgh Steelers will not go and trade for Justin Fields. It's not going to happen, right? So that was me ages ago, and we've been through a bit of a journey now for 5 months, getting all the players, doing all the draft stuff, and now we have Justin Fields in training camp, tearing it up and throwing good footballs and getting this team, I think, ready for the preseason. But overall, like I said in the very beginning, the very start, I don't think you can choose. You don't have to choose one side. Fans out there, you can like Wilson for what he's doing or what he hopefully should do as quarterback number 1, and you can also like what Justin Fields is doing as quarterback number 2. And lastly, is anybody on the Kyle Allen train? He's also forgotten to. He might play some reps too. I don't know. We don't want him to because he's quarterback number 3, but nobody's talking about Kyle Allen. Alrighty, Steeler Nation. I'll see you later. Here we go,